The idle in many parts of the world is highly deceptive, as environmental problems often lie deep and hidden. So in terms of marine pollution, the United Nations Environment Program estimates that more than 580 million kilograms of fishing gear are lost or discarded into the seas and oceans each year. In addition to waste prevention and stricter controls, the key to tackle this problem is to take big and bold innovative steps towards sustainability and circularity. This is the goal that is also at the core of Hyundai's strategy on creating shared value to tackle societal problems and help with its size and technologies, laying the groundwork for a future that is smarter, cleaner, more connected, and sustainable. This is why Hyundai sent 3 investigators on a fact-finding mission. The topic of sustainable mobility and motorsport is discovered by ETCR race driver Norbert Michelis, while the well-known explorer Bertrand Piccard goes in search of game changers and hopefuls in terms of recycling solutions. And ocean steward and photographer Hovest takes the first step in this journey by seeking innovative answers to marine pollution.
I have made it my mission to address grievances in dealing with our nature and environmental protection, to actively tackle them myself.
Hovest begins his research at the root of the problem. To do so, the journey takes him to Greece, where the NGO Healthy Seas dedicated itself to a huge ambition in the field of marine cleaning.
Healthy Seas is connecting marine protection to circular economy with the help of divers and fishermen recovering fishing nets. And thanks to our partners, these nets will become new products, carpet, socks, swimwear, or garments.
Okay, wow, that sounds great. Tell me, what is your mission? What is your task?
So we are focusing on ghost nets, which are accidentally lost or abandoned fishing nets in the seas, killing and catching marine life. And these ghost nets are plastic waste, which doesn't biodegrade. So with the help of divers and fishermen, we organize the collection, and these fishing nets becomes nylon yarn and new products.
But with all this pollution in the ocean, do you think the work of Healthy Seas can really make a difference here?
We cannot save the world alone, but we really want others to inspire to follow. So we do the best we can.
So you're about to enforce all your power to your project here in Ithaca. Why is Ithaca so important for you? Why did you came back to that island?
In Ithaca we faced a huge problem we have never seen before. Here there are not pieces of accidentally lost fishing nets, but complete entire fish farm abandoned, so-called ghost farm. So that's why we return here now.
Since its founding in 2013, Healthy Seas has collected over 800 tons of fishing nets and other marine litter with the help of fishermen and volunteer divers. Looking at the island of Ithaca, it has been 76 tons of fishing nets and other marine litter Healthy Seas pulled out of the ocean in 2021. But that was mostly the cleaning of one abandoned fish farm facility. And there's still tens of tons left that have to be disposed of from the bay as it quickly becomes visible underwater.
There was a fish farm here more than 20 years ago. So we went there for a dive, and indeed we found the fish farm still down there.
The fishing farm is gone, but the problems are still here?
Exactly. The fish farm company left, but the actual fish farm on the surface is just sunken down and still down there.
What is the main problem on these fishing nets?
A fishing net is still doing what it's designed for, so it's still catching marine life, but that without purpose. And so it's pollution when it's left behind on the bottom.
Would you say you stopped the cause, or do you just work on the symptoms here?
We work on the symptoms. It's not that we can stop the cause, but step by step we can show the problem to the public, and that's actually very important.
So we just saw these massive nets out there. Please tell us, how will you get them out of the water?
Well, when we just had a dive, there will be a cleanup soon. So why don't you just join Veronica and go to the fish farm spot and watch while they are cleaning up?
Yeah, awesome. Okay.
The effort required for cleaning the island is enormous. In this Healthy Seas cleanup, 10 partners and 45 people are involved, working in up to 2 cleaning shifts over a period of 4 months to rid the island of the remaining ghost nets.
imagine, all this has been for almost 30 years on the seabed. So we are facing here a problem never seen before. With healthy citizen partners returned to Ithaca to remove ghost farms, which are polluting our environment. Several organizations are working together here, so ghost diving, 20 volunteer divers, all together with locals, the local fishermen community, NLEA, our partners, which is a fishery school in Greece. They all work together under the auspice of the Ministry of Environment and the Ministry of Shipping. So we really managed to bring together partners from different sectors to make this project happen.
Okay, great. And what happened to all these nets after you have pulled it out from the sea?
This is not the end of the story. The fishing nets will get a second life. They will be regenerated into ECONYL nylon yarn, which is the basis of many beautiful new products, such as socks, swimwear, carpets, or for example, the car mats Hyundai is using in some of the models.
Great, that must be very satisfying, seeing products made of the nets you have pulled out of the water.
Also, being able to connect to the public this way, raise awareness, and the products are the messengers in a way.
Great. Thank you so much helping our environment, Veronica. Great.
Thank you for joining.
At the end of the project, Ithaca is left behind with another 14 cleaned locations around the island. Thanks to the huge commitment of many activists, a total of 18.5 tons of ghost nets and 5 tons of other marine litter were recovered in 2022. Now solutions are needed to effectively return the salvaged waste to the cycle. Therefore, Hovest passes the baton to an explorer whose strength is to find impossible solutions.
You know me as an explorer who flew around the world non-stop in a balloon and without fuel in a solar airplane. But you know, I'm also an explorer of efficient solutions for sustainability.
Fight against the unpredictability of life.
Removing ghost nets from the ocean brings huge relief to marine life. But beyond that, effective climate-friendly solutions for dealing with the marine waste are needed. That's why a forward-thinking company in Slovenia is the next place Bertrand Picard visits.
Aquafil is a pioneer of the circular economy. We are producing ECONYL regenerated nylon. It's 100% recycled from the plastic waste. We are using different types of the waste coming from all over the world. Types of the waste are fish nets coming from the aquaculture and the fish farming, the plastic nylon scraps, the carpets, and the ghost nets being collected by the healthy seas. They are taking the ghost nets from the oceans, cleaning the oceans, and bringing us the nets, which are good waste for our ECONYL regenerated system.
So now I'm really curious to see the production, how you go from this to the new pure product.
Let's see it.
The raw material contained in some of the fishing nets, as well as in many carpets and countless other products, is called nylon 6. A plastic that can be regenerated as often as required. In terms of climate relief, this means that for every 10,000 tons of regenerated raw material, 70,000 barrels of crude oil can be saved, and 65,100 tons of CO2 emissions can be avoided.
The quality of the ECONYL regenerated nylon is identical as fresh virgin nylon 6, but it reduces the CO2 emissions up to 90%.
The ideal would be to be entirely circular, but if you look at all the nylon 6 that is produced in the world today, which percentage is already recycled into ECONYL? It's a very small part, you think?
It is a very small part, yes.
So now the goal is really to scale it up.
Yes, but you have to consider that we are the only company in the world producing from the nylon waste final products which are identical quality as virgin nylon 6.
So when we speak about the environment, you basically need more competitors doing the same thing.
Yes, the competition is always good for developing the process.
So what can be made out of ECONYL?
It's good for the fashion, for the apparel, for the carpets, for the automotive industry, as floor mats in this IONIQ 5.
So basically we're driving with ECONYL under our feet.
Yes.
Achieving broad acceptance and commitment for sustainable production among the doers who were involved before the start of the manufacturing process is the next task.
When you look before, sustainability was just like an add-on, and right now we put it into the center of our research and development, and it is defining the way we are working more and more.
And you plan to increase the quantity of recyclable materials into your designs for the future?
Definitely. So we are working on different materials, different manufacturing strategies. And what we do is, with each car release, we increase the amount of recyclable and sustainable contents in our cars.
Recycled materials is only for the interior or also for the exterior, for the shells or for big pieces?
The exterior itself, there is already a standard recycling process ongoing, because aluminum shells, steel shells can be easily recycled, and they are, in fact. What we do is we focus in the interior, and thanks to recyclable plastics, like ECONYL for instance, we bring recyclable content to the interior. And we now plan to go deeper to the clothing underneath, to the construction parts as well, and bring sustainable content here.
And as a designer, you must dream of the perfect car. How does it look like?
We dream of a car which fulfills not only the requirements for being safe, but also increase the well-being aspect and the balance for the people. And of course, why we do this, we want to have a car which is recyclable, and therefore circularity is the key.
The next step calls for a big one, because now it's time to think big about sustainability, from its broad use in mobility to motorsports. The areas of expertise of the racing driver, who is now taking over the baton from Bertrand Piccard.
As a professional race driver, my focus is always on my sport. A sport in which I was able to celebrate success together with my team, but also a sport that will experience serious changes and will be steered in new directions by the initiated mobility and energy change. I consider myself lucky to be able to play an active role in this necessary change.
A key role on the way to a sustainable and climate-friendly future will be played by game-changing new mobility ideas that are often invented and tested in motorsport surroundings. That's why the Hyundai Motor Europe Technical Center at one of the most famous racetracks in the world is the starting point of Norbert Michele's exploration.
Had a nice ride?
Yeah, nice to meet you. Sebastian, what place is this? What happens here?
Our European Technical Center is the place where we test and develop our cars. So here we put them through their paces. And what better place to do it than at the famous Nordschleife?
But why is testing in extreme conditions important for design?
Well, we have to test the suspension, the steering, the brakes, everything has to work, and that helps us to develop the road cars and also the cars for the racetrack. The IONIQ 6 would be a good example how the racetrack heavily influenced our streamliner shape, and that was all developed here.
Talking about the IONIQ 6, I really can't wait for the test drive.
Sure, let's go.
The innovative and increasing use of sustainable materials, as here in the IONIQ 6, is an essential step towards sustainability and circularity. Its carpets and floor mats, made from recycled fishing nets and other nylon waste, are just one example, besides many others, as the recycled PET fabric seats or the bio paint.
That was a very nice experience. Sebastian, What makes the IONIQ 6 particularly efficient in terms of design?
It's all about aerodynamics. The car has a super slippery shape, so no line on the car has not a function. 2 spoilers in the rear, all to really make the airflow as efficient as possible.
How does Hyundai reinforce its commitment to eco-friendly mobility with this new IONIQ 6?
We follow our vision, Progress for Humanity, to become a more sustainable provider for mobility. We follow this every step of the process. For example, on this car, we have floor mats that are made out of ECONYL, which is basically recycled plastics. Also, the carpeting in general is out of recycled and upcycled fisher nets. So we think of every material, how can we source sustainable materials?
Now I'm very curious what this sustainable progress means for motorsport.
Actually, I think I have somebody who can answer those questions better than I can do.
Yeah, thanks, sure.
Since many developments in the field of mobility have their origins in motorsports, a clear turnaround in sustainability is as necessary as it is recognizable there as well.
Good to see you at the Nürburgring.
Good to see you.
I'm out of here. Bye.
Ciao. Let's talk about motorsport.
Stefan, how important is it for you to increase sustainability in motorsport in general?
It's quite important. I mean, as every car company, we're looking into getting a cleaner footprint, and motorsport has to take a role as well to not only make the cars cleaner, but also the environment around it.
A decisive component of sustainability is electrification. How does this influence decisions in motorsport?
It has also the biggest impact. We have electrification already in the World Rally Championship with hybrids, and we are from the first day in ETCR, where we compete with fully electric touring cars since the early days.
Why did Hyundai join ETCR?
I mean, when we talked about the idea of electric touring cars, we were immediately fascinated by the technology and the platform to have touring cars based on production models which run fully electric. To go one step further, these cars are charged in the service park by fuel cell generators using clean hydrogen. So the whole concept of that championship was something where we said we want to be part of it.
Where do you expect motorsport ideally to be in the near future?
Performance cars in the future will be step-by-step electrified. I mean, one part is the cars itself. The next step is the environment, like how to charge the cars, for example, with hydrogen chargers. And this could work for motorsport to be relevant in the future as well.
Stefan, it was a real pleasure and a great experience to visit you today.
Thank you, Norby.
The first paths to a sustainable and circular future have not only been imagined by visionary thinkers and doers, but have already been taken. Now everyone is asked to support these visionaries on all grounds.